welcome to another video with me, Richard Clements, on life with on two wheels. You join me in my kitchen. I thought I'd do a bit of a product review. I don't plan on doing very many of these, but I you know, sometimes I come across things and I think, you know what, I'll just share it with you, you know. So without further ado, a number of years ago I bought I come across a brand called Pod Sacs. Pod Sacs are actually the retailer Planet X, his own brand of bike bags, and they're basically sort of at the cheaper end of bike bags, as you can imagine, because Planet X are sort of, you know, the value end of stuff, I would call them, and I don't mean that to be in a disrespectful way. You know, they do sell some pretty good value for stuff. Anyway, so I bought this this bag, and it's a saddle pack. I don't know what the literage is of it, and but it was good enough for sort of, like, you know, a summer 300 where you know you're not going to need loads of clothes. You can put your inner tubes. Let's put it that way up. Although that's the bottom, that's the top. You can put your inner tubes, your tyre levers, and you got a bit of space for a bit of food, you know, gels, and if that's your sort of thing. And yeah, so I bought this. I can't remember what I paid for it, and yeah, it's done all right. It's a bit of an odd shape, but it does the trick very well. The only thing I didn't quite like about it was the how it clamps to your saddle, and you got this little clamp, and your saddle rails go through these two, and then this goes over the top. Oh, I'm blocking there. Goes over the top. Go on, over you go. Over the top of that, and then you pull the lever down, and it makes it, you know, clips in shut. I found that not to work particularly well, and it did look a bit funny when you got your saddle rails here and it's hung quite far down. But that was my only negative on the bag. Totally waterproof. It's one of these things where you roll it over like so, and then clip it together with one of these clips, and then you've got a flap that goes over the top, and there's a bit of velcro there on the back. When there's something in it, it kind of works, if that makes sense. So you've got a thing there, and you've even got a thing you could put a light on if you want to. And I just stopped using it, and then I've noticed recently, as you can see, I put a bit of a reflective tape on there, and I noticed recently they've got a Mark II version of it, so I ended up buying one, and for $14.95 I got another one the same, and they now, let me just unclip it. Of course, it's all got caught. Right, let's get that out the way. Anyway, they do them in different colours now. So I went with a light blue one, and they clearly thought the same as me, because they've put a reflective patch on the side that aids visibility. But the best thing is they have done away with that funny clamp thing. So now exactly the same as before, but you've got straps instead that just clip around the side. You can adjust them, clip, and just hangs in the same way as before. So as I said, they do them in different colours. I went with a light blue. They had a navy blue. I think they're black, orange, pink, green. Again, totally waterproof. You can tell by the sort of plasticky material of it, and it seems a bit more pliable than the old, you know, the Mark 1. Seems a bit of a nicer material. So I'll let you know how I get on with those. But yeah, for £15, can't go wrong, I don't think. And I have another bag. Where have I put it? So this is a more of a traditional bike packing bag. So you've got your straps that go over the saddle rails, and then they clip onto these ones underneath, like so. And then you've got some straps that go around the seat post, around the front. And yeah, so this is the large. I've got two. This is the large, and they do a smaller one as well. I can't remember what the liters is, but yeah, I've done a 600 with this. Not a problem at all. My only gripe is it's more of a tube. The back end of it could be doing with deeper, because you know the way stuff goes in. So thinking about the cardboard box, whatever that song was. Yeah, it could just be doing with a little bit deeper. It's my only gripe. Again, completely waterproof. It has tarpaulin on the inside, all the way down, so it's kind of like double layered, if you know what I mean. And like the other bag, it's got a thing here, so you can clip your backlight onto. Works perfectly well. And you've also got this webbing on the top, so you can put a rain jacket or banana on there or something. And yeah, it's I think it was like 30 quid or something like that. I can't remember how much they were now. I did buy them a few years ago. So as I said, I've got two. The other one I've got is still on my bike from the weekend, from the Pickwick's January sale. That one is starting to go on the seams now, but that's because I've used it a lot. And for the price, I'll probably get another one. I do have an Alp-Kit Koala, which I bought when they first came out, and I've had that probably about 5, 6, 7. Have a work about it now. We're 2022, aren't we? I must have bought that about 2015. It's a 7-year-old bag now, and that is starting to look starting to look a bit worn out. Again, I've used that a lot. I might do another video on that at some point. But I've got an Apijora Expedition bike packing bag as well, and that I've used. So I did the Inverness 1200 a few years ago. I used it for that. The straps aren't quite on that. I'm not that impressed with. The bag itself is fine. It's just the straps here and there are a bit. They could have done those better. I mean, for the price between this and that, this is probably a third of the price, you know, and I don't think it's a third of the thing either. So, you know, horses for courses. I am a bit of a bag whore, as it were. I've got quite a few bags now. A couple of Paradise saddle bags. I've got a low saddle long flap, and I've also got a camper long flap as well, which is like the biggest one they do. I think if you've seen my back catalogue, you will have seen me use that on the Bristol, Glasgow, Bristol. I'll probably use that next year, this year now, if I do the Brevet Populaire, or whatever they call it, the 10-day version rather than the 7-day version. So I can then carry a few sort of home luxuries, if you like, and sod the weight, you know, because I've got that extra 3 days to do it in. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, I've got a couple of those. I've got a rack top bag, a Paradise Super C rack top bag. What else have I got? What else have I got? Got off my head. I'm getting them all out. I'll be here for hours, but yeah, I've got a fair few, let's just say that. Because I'm quite short, well, I am short, I don't not to use frame bags because I don't have that much of a frame there to put anything in. And so I tend not to use them. Top tube bags I use, I've got a Shimano one, which they're brand pro, who also make handlebars and stems, I think, as well. I've got one of those. That's pretty good. No complaints with that one. I've got a Top Peak fuel cell or something, I think it's called. I've got a large one of those, and that's really good for the long rides because you can. It's got a little couple of compartments in there, and you can put in your battery pack to charge your phone and your GPS in there as well. And I've got all my USB cables and bits and bobs and in there, so I can charge me GPS on the move actually, whilst because it's got a little thing you can poke the USB cable through and it keeps it all waterproof. So yeah, they're really good. And I've got an Alp kit one as well, but I find that a bit. It needs to be a little bit more rigid. The material's a bit too floppy, if you know what I mean. And it when it's on your top tube, it flops. And I find then I rub my knees on it, and it makes me knees sore on the insides of my knees. So yeah, so that's kind of my downside of that one. I do have a bar bag. I think that's Top Peak as well. Is it Altura? It might be an Altura one actually. And that's where the same sort of effort as these, where you've got this, you roll it and then you clip it on either side. I don't know what the literage is of that. Let's say 40 is, and that's good enough to put in. I've had my sleeping bag and that kind of thing in it. Yeah, that was pretty good, and I think that's about 50 odd pound, that one. Yeah, does what it says on the tin, so that is pretty much what I really wanted to talk about tonight, really. Yeah, just to say, take a look at Pod Sacs. If you can't quite afford a Apidura, because they are quite pricey. Same with Caradice, really, but you're only buying that once. Caradice, I gotta be honest, probably those two bags I've got, probably that'll do me out. I'll probably in me box by the time those are wore out. But yeah, for 15 quid, and this sort of thing is fine. So I said it's only enough for some inner tubes. Your punch repair outfit, your multi-tool, and that sort of thing, and a few bars of chocolate or something like that. That's all you want. Absolutely spot on. So yeah, if I was going to give it a mark out of 10, I'd give it an 8. So there you go. So that's obviously, this is just my opinion. I'm not paid to say anything, obviously, because I've only got about 4 viewers. But I just thought I'd just share with you, the bits and bobs I've got that I think quite good. So yeah. So we've covered handlebar bags, top tube bags. I do have a frame bag, but it's only a very small one, and I don't use it because I'm too short. Funnily enough, Apidura did an article for these sort of ultra endurance, race across Europe types, and they were talking about people with small frames, and the examples they used were a couple of ladies, well-known ladies, and with small frames, and they actually do a top tube bag that basically is the length of the whole top tube. So I might get one of those, see what that's like. And that saves me not having to worry about a frame bag, and I can probably get away with a smaller saddle bag then, which would help with the handling on the bike, because even with a Caradice and that sort of thing, you have a bit of weight in there, it gets a bit sort of, the tail wags the dog, as it were. So yeah, I might try one of those. We'll see how we get on. try and get that tested before Bristol, Glasgow, Bristol, and then that'll make my mind up on what my setup's going to look like. You know, as I said earlier, I might use the camper long flap, I don't know, or I might just go with a bike packing bag and this top tube bag and a handlebar bag, you know, something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna have a bit of a think on that. Yeah, so Pod Sacs, you know, good value for money. I've had mine for probably 3 or 4 years now. When did I get that? It must have been 2018. So yeah, it'd be about 4 years old. The smaller one of the two, and I've used that in a lot. And as I said, it is going the stitches are going on the seams now. So yeah, that probably will need to be binned at some point in the near future, and I'll probably just get another one. You know, although I've got others I can use, I suppose. But yeah, I'll probably get another one. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. And without ado, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.